people are in one of two camps here. Either you're in the camp of Petr Yan is going to beat the shit out of Sean O'Malley, or you're in the camp of, I guess there's three camps, or you're in the camp of Sean O'Malley is really going to show you this dude belongs and he's ready to go. And then you have the other camp that's like, Sean O'Malley's going to knock out Petr Yan first round, done, and it's just like, okay, let's chill just for a little bit, right? Here's the question, man. Is Sean O'Malley ready to handle the task that is Petr Yan? And I don't say that because I don't think Sean O'Malley is a good fighter. We have been on the Sugar Show train literally from the jump, right? We have been saying he's top 15 ready when they wouldn't even throw him anywhere near the rankings. But going from your top 10 to 15, top 8 to 15, to number 1, to the dude who has lost 3 career fights and arguably could be the champion right now, that's a pretty high step. Now, I want you to answer this before we break down this fight. Will Sean O'Malley be a champion in his career?
Oh, yes, 100%. Especially because of how big of a draw this dude is. It's going to be hard to keep him away from that belt. One, nonetheless, I think he has a skill set for it. 2, I think he's going to be around for such a long time. It's going to be, unless he's, the next, not Michael Bisping. There's a couple great fighters out there who've never touched gold. Chael Sonnen? Chael
Sonnen never got the belt.
Never got gold. Could be the next Chael, especially with the way he's, boisterous and keeps talking. But going back to what you said, man, Sugar. There is a couple camps, and I agree, Derek. Sometimes you got to get away from the people that are just so hyped. There's memes going out there, man. Sugar's basically going to have his next Bitcoin. He's going to be that guy in the MMA world where people are just willing to throw this dude on anything and kind of make a buck off him just from the looks of everything, both social media wise and fight wise. This guy has everything to offer. But you're going up against an absolute maniac, like savage, murder mindset dude in there. Probably, arguably, one of the hardest fights in the entire UFC roster. Nonetheless, just this division that this dude is hard to beat, man. And this used to be his division, too. There was a long time where Petr Yan was just running the show. Is the Sugar Show ready? This is going to be a hell of a fight to prove it, man. I don't know. This is an interesting one right here. What do you think?
Well, this is the question, man. Petr Yan, he's looked vulnerable against Aljamain Sterling, only in the second fight, not in the first fight, right? And why did he look vulnerable? Grappling, right? The grappling of Aljamain Sterling was able to mitigate the offensive prowess of Petr Yan. Does Sean O'Malley contain any of that grappling?
No. Well, we'll see. We'll see. But no, don't forget, though, in that second fight, that Petr Yan and Aljo were having. Petr Yan was having a really hard time in that first round, finding that range, dictating that range, getting on the inside to actually do some damage to it and start hitting with the trips and stuff like that. Once he did, then Petr started doing better. But also, arguably, Aljo was throwing away those 4th and that 5th round. I think given the kicking technique and the elusive nature that Sean O'Malley possesses, I think he'll have a harder time being able to find him on the inside, find him in a position where he's going to be able to get caught. Or are we just going to see the classic Petr Yan walking you down, smash style, tripping you, laughing at you, taunting you, and then beating you up? What do you think? Are we going to see which one?
Well, first off, I completely agree with everything that you just said in terms of Sean O'Malley is going to pose a real threat. And yes, did Petr Yan have some difficulty against Aljamain Sterling? Yes. My whole entire point on that is that Petr Yan can walk forward with reckless abandon if he's able to slip past and close the distance. And on top of that, not even have to worry about a shot coming back his way. Not worrying about getting your hips back. Literally, all you're worrying about, let me clinch him and let me trip him so I can get his ass on the ground and I can take away his offensive attack. However, yes, Sean O'Malley is going to be very difficult for Petr Yan to really get in there and really go with that relentless, tight guard in there approach that he likes to take, because Sean O'Malley is just going to be popping on you, footwork, moving around constantly, da-da-da-da-da. If you look at the reach advantage over here, it looks like we have Sean O'Malley with a 72-inch reach, 67-inch reach for Petr Yan. You got a 5-inch reach advantage in terms of height. I mean, they got, like he said in the press conference, he was like, bro, there's no way this dude is fucking 5'7", man. You're 5'5", right? And you got Sean O'Malley. Look, something down over there. Hopefully everything all good for my man. But you got the Sean O'Malley who's kind of in that camp of dude, if I can keep you at bay and I can just kind of pick you apart for the entire fight, that's how I'm going to win the fight. But does that ever happen in a Petr Yan fight? No, it doesn't, man. Petr Yan, if there's one thing that the man is good at, he's at least able to come on after having a slow start. Now, do you have time to do that in a 3-round fight? No, you don't. So you have to go out quick, either one of those guys. But Sean O'Malley against Pedro Munoz in the last fight, man, what did you see, man? It was kind of a slow start for both of these guys. So if we have one of those rounds, I think Petr Yan, all he needs is a couple trips just to even like rack up a decision win, just like even if it's close, even if it's not definitive. I think this is the thing. If Petr Yan does not smash Sean O'Malley, he loses. Even if he wins, he loses. Sean O'Malley almost has everything to win here, except if you get smashed by Petr Yan, then it's going to be like, oh, okay, so you weren't ready yet. At the end of the day, man, I just think this comes down to who's able to bridge that gap a little bit, and can Sean O'Malley have used his precision, because we know he doesn't have even though he has knockouts on knockouts, it's not like he's just this big power puncher. He knows where to place it to get you off of your game and to just really just like rattle your whole entire, whatever the case, right? So I don't know how else to break down this fight other than I think this comes down to striking. But if Petr Yan can get the takedown, I don't think Sean O'Malley can get back up. So I don't want to spend too much time because clearly we have to move with efficiency here. But I think if you're talking about like life or death situation, I say, AJ, I got you by your belt and by your back of your shirt, and I'm about to toss you off a damn cliff. Who wins the fight? Who do you pick and how?
I'm going Sugar, brother. I'm sticking true to the Sugar show, but I'm going KO, and I'm going late. Well, it depends on what the over is, but I'm going early round 3. I'm going late in the fight, early round 3. What's the over under?
2.5.
2.5.
So you're taking the under?
The over. I'm taking the over here.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, I guess
if it's early, it'll be the under.
3 might be the under. What? Yeah, so I guess it is the under because it's 2.5. So I'm taking before the middle of round 3 hits, right? Under, so that's, yeah. So I'm taking the under. But either way, man, this is one of those fights where I don't want to see either guy win or lose. I do agree with what you were saying before that Sean O'Malley has everything to lose or everything to gain and very little to lose right here. Mm-hmm. But man, this is one of those fights where two of my favorite fighters going at it. It's a win and it's a lose-lose. Win, lose. It's a good fight either way. Derek, who you picking and why?
Well, you know what, man? I have to go Petr Yan. And the reason why I have to go is because he's established. This dude was literally the champion. Wasn't this like aspiring guy? It's like, no, this guy can be. It's like champion 1A and 1B. Sterling and Yan. Those are the guys, right? Now, if we're looking at it, the biggest wins came from like the Uriah Faber. And it's like, come on, you know what I mean? Uriah Faber, you got the win over Jose Aldo. That's monstrous, right? But it took you 5 rounds to get that done. Corey Sandhagen, you lost to Sterling twice, one in a fight that you were whooping his ass, and the other one, you know what I mean? You lost. It is what it is. You lost. I think Petr Yan has the better track record. I think he's more established, and I think that size discrepancy aside, he has more tools to win. But Sean O'Malley's dangerous as fuck, man. Sean O'Malley could win this. So I'm taking Petr Yan. Give me the TKO. Give me the under. I'm just going to leave it at under. I don't know when. Give me the under. Plus 250 TKO. I almost feel like that's taking candy from a baby right here. I'm just going to say that. But don't get me wrong, man. For the Sugar Hive that's probably going to come after me after I say something like that, it's still all love to the Sugar Show. This is just a little too steep of a challenge in my opinion. If I'm wrong, hey, I'm wrong, man. And I'll eat my crow. But you already know what time it is.